Lee Cronin's The Mummy is out in theaters, new horror film from, you guessed it, Lee Cronin, starring Jack Reynor, Laia Costa, and May Calamawy. Now, you might be wondering why the director's name is displayed so prominently as part of the movie's title, especially as Lee Cronin is not really an acclaimed or famous movie maker. He made two features before this, The Hole in the Ground and Evil Dead Rise. Well, apparently, the reason is the studio wanted to ensure that the audience would know this movie is separate from both the Brendan Fraser adventure films titled Mummy from the late 90s, early 2000s, of which, by the way, they are now making another one, and from the Tom Cruise Mummy. So, a completely independent project. Got it. The story in the film follows a married American couple whose daughter gets kidnapped in Cairo. They never find her until 8 years later. They get a phone call. She's been found. She's alive. But what's weird is she's been locked inside of a 3,000-year-old sarcophagus on a small plane that crashed. She's in a catatonic state, physically unwell, but the parents decide to take her home anyway and try to nurse her back to health, which of course leads to strange and deadly things happening. So I'm sad to say that despite an interesting concept, the movie sucks. The biggest problems for me are the tone and the script. The tone, because it feels like the film wants you to take it seriously, and the Egyptian investigation angle plus the black magic is honestly kind of fascinating. But then everything that happens with the family is not scary at all. Instead, it's straight up goofy and silly. It comes very, very close to being a parody of itself, which tonally would make some more sense in an Evil Dead movie, but not necessarily here. Secondly, the writing. My God, the parents are the dumbest people in the world. The child is clearly, at least, in need of serious medical assistance and at most a straight up demon right from the get go. Yet they take her home. Okay, then you have the scene the mother accidentally removes her entire toenail of the daughter, along with a long piece of skin from her leg, which is merged with some strange bandages with ancient Egyptian writing. Nobody thinks it's time to take the girl to the hospital. Then the father investigates the markings and realizes they are essentially exorcisms against an ancient Egyptian demon entity. He sees his daughter run around the house like Gollum on drugs. People start getting hurt. Still, nobody does anything. Where you would clearly call for an ambulance or an exorcist, or preferably both. The worst scene in the film for me was the funeral or wake sequence, where things get properly chaotic. Multiple people are clearly possessed. Shit hits the fan in a major way. And then, right at the climax of it all, the movie just cuts to black and then moves directly into the next scene, which is, every visitor is gone and the family is back at the house as if nothing at all had happened. I'm sorry, you cannot do this. I don't believe any normal person in that situation would not do anything. Then there are other nonsense things. The house itself having these huge corridors inside of walls for whatever purpose. The Egyptian investigator coming on a plane immediately just to show the parents a VHS tape. The VHS existing in the first place because it's clearly only there for the audience's purpose. It doesn't make sense for the witch to have made it in the first place. I mean, it's nonsense after nonsense after nonsense, and so it is impossible to take the film seriously. And because it doesn't lean hard enough into a comedic territory, it ends up being just incredibly disappointing. Don't recommend this one, it's a waste of time.